Hey everybody, it's GoblinX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we have the return of Final Fantasy Premier Drafts 2 Arena. They're going to be flashing back to the set throughout the whole month of December. So we're going to trickle in a couple of these drafts throughout the month for variety's sake. So without further ado, since this is the day of the drafts coming back on Arena, let's hop back into some Final Fantasy. We've got a really solid pack one here, and it's a pretty interesting one because I don't think there's one card here that's miles above the rest or anything. There's several solid options. I like Thunder Magic a lot. It's great in any red deck. It's really flexible removal. It's also quite splashable. So I'm pretty high on this card. Grabbing it early is a pretty safe pick. But there's also a very good blue counterspell with Swallowed by Leviathan, and some pretty reasonable build-arounds that could be quite good. Side quest Raise a Chocobo is absurd if you ever flip it, but it's pretty hard to flip it. 4 birds on the board. And then Matoya here could be a good card engine, but doesn't do anything by themselves. So some very strict build-arounds there, or some really reasonable monocolored interaction like Thunder Magic or the blue counterspell. So play it safe there. Play it a little boring for now to stay open early and grab the Thunder Magic. Pick 2. Similarly safe pick here is Sephiroth's Intervention. Very splashable, very powerful black removal. Super great spell. Happy to take it. One of the best commons in the whole set. There are more great commons in the pack, though. Resentful Revelation is good card draw. It's good card selection when you cast it, and then by the time that you flash it back, you'll have technically drawn 2 cards out of it, so good card advantage in that way. Plus, if you're one of the cards or one of the archetypes that cares about the number of cards in your graveyard, like green-black here, as you see with X-Death, then you can get extra value putting stuff in your grave. So I like Intervention a lot. Wyvern's pretty good as well. Flyer and another creature off the 1 card. X-Death is solid, but I think the monocolored cards in that pack are more than good enough that I'm not really interested in going for a multicolored spell there yet again. Second copy of Thunder Magic is lovely, but Ultimisia is a really fun finisher in the blue-black decks. You get that time compression, the extra turn when you flip the Ultimisia and just win with a giant menacer. So really fun finisher if you are in exactly blue-black, but again, I don't think we need to take it super highly unless we are already blue-black, and we aren't right now. We'll just grab another Thunder Magic here. Another really reasonable card is the Travel the Overworld. I haven't played this very often, but it is really, really good. Draw 4 is huge, and there are some green-blue at the core, kind of splashy multicolor decks that'll draft towns quite highly, the dual lands of the set, and this can be like a 5 mana or a 4 mana draw 4, which would be a very, very good deal. Pick number 4 now. Wouldn't mind scooping up a Garland. 2 mana for a 3/2, and you surveil 1 whenever you cast a non-creature spell. It's already just a really reasonable rate up front, and then if the game goes long, getting the full-on 2 for 1 out of it is fantastic. Obviously, 7 mana for a 5/5, that's a really hard mana cost, not a great mana cost for what you're getting, but you're tacking that on essentially for free, because up front, the 2 mana 3/2 that's surveilling as you're casting spells is already kind of worth that initial entry fee. So Garland is pretty great, and I'm happy to try to head in that direction off of double Thunder Magic and a Sephiroth's Intervention. There's still a reasonable monocolored card here. Either the Dire-Rat or the Gaius are both pretty good. The Dire-Rat's more consistent. Trade it into anything, you're already happy. But the Garland, it depends on what the board looks like. But there are a lot of board states where Garland plays really well. If your opponent plays one of the really good Saga creatures, the good enchantment creatures, you can play Gaius, make them sack an enchantment, and you don't have to sack anything. Or if they have a really good token creature and you don't, then you can make them sack a token while you have nothing on the board as well. But it depends on your deck and it depends on the board. If you're playing a bunch of token creatures and a bunch of non-token creatures, more often than not, then the Gaius is going to be making you sack a card as well. Pick 5. Triple Thunder Magic is just a really simple way to start a draft. Zell is not as impressive as he looks. Obviously like a solid late game finisher, but always that 3 toughness is what makes him kind of hard sell. Trades down into 2 and 3 mana cards at basically any point in the game. Pick 6. Black-red duels perfectly fine here. I'm not very excited about any of the black or the red cards in this pack. The main thing to do here outside of taking the black-red duel would be just speculating on another color. in case we get cut off of like black or something here, just take a reasonable blue or white removal spell, I feel. But I'm just going to take the Vector. I don't think there's a ton of ways to try to trigger Fang in black-red exactly, but technically you can draw extra cards off Fang every time you cast a spell with Flashback, or if you cast like a Garland from Grave. But currently we're on the one Garland. We certainly won't be like the green-black deck trying to actually flip this. You need Vanille out of green as well. I'm just going to take Vector. Pick number 7. Why are you using this Deadly Dispute art, Magic Arena? Where's the Final Fantasy Deadly Dispute? I'm confused. I mean, it's probably the pick, honestly. Black-red is a color pair that should, by the end of the draft, hook us up with a lot of Black Mage tokens. They're little 0/1 tokens that ping your opponent for damage every time you cast anything. And those are good cards to sack to this, turn this into just straight up 2 mana, draw 2, draw a card. Or sorry, 2 mana, draw 2, get a treasure token. I cannot speak today. But there's also like job select equipment in the set that are really good with Deadly Dispute. Treasure tokens are great with it as well, so if we get some of those dire rats, we can sack a treasure to get the card draw going. I think we're in a really solid spot to be some black-red nonsense here. I don't really like Barret. Even if I am the red-white equipment deck, usually I'd rather just run like 4 mana equipment spells like the job select equipment than the Barrets. There's just better payoffs than that. So I'll just speculate. Green-black duel there. Wouldn't despise Anima at the top of the curve, but Anima's a bit slow for the cost. Obviously, if you're behind, it's also quite painful. All the life loss involved in this as well. You do go quite a bit ahead in cards. It's probably better than more speculative fixing. Zac is the best card in this pack by quite a lot. This is a really efficient way to make sure that whatever your best creature is later sticks around on board. Take that. There's no case scenario out of the way we've drafted so far that will randomly end up in green-white. We got a last pick Fang. Again, I'm not particularly high on the card. I don't like it that much, so I don't find my decks to often have a lot of synergies for it. But I think it's good enough, and most players like it more than me, that getting it literally last pick is a very solid sign for black. So pack 2, pick 1. Let's just get deeper into black. Very happy with what we have for the color, as well as what we have to synergize with this side quest. This is giving us a treasure token every turn in which we blow up one of our opponent's creatures. And then once we have 3 of those, we get a big finishing legendary dragon out of the deal that can even give itself indestructible by sacking those treasures that we made. Yeah, this card is really, really nice. A removal spell that kills anything and a finisher of a creature all tacked into one spell. 4th Thunder Magic. I feel like Anima's actually going to be quite good in this deck. Not a card I'm usually very high on, but in decks that are just chock full of 1-for-1 removal, card draw spells go up quite a lot in value. Make sure that you're ahead in cards. Make up for all of the 1-for-1 you've been doing. You just dumped your hand out 1-for-1 yourself. Just like, okay, kill that, kill that, kill that. I'm out of stuff. You got to have some way to replenish that stuff and try to have more cards than your opponent in the end. More removal spells than they have creatures, and Anima's great at doing that. And black is certainly looking open. We get past a black bomb rare, Xenos, yay, Galvus, which will fit perfectly into this kind of just tons of removal sort of deck. We have Xenos in the opener, and then we know we get to blow up all of their 2 toughness or less creatures off of this and save all our removal for whatever is left after the dust settles. Blow up whatever they remain on board and get an 8/8 that wins the game real quick. This pack's a pretty big miss. We're not going to play a Sandworm. So I'm just going to take a speculative piece of fixing, I think, because I also really don't like Red Mage's Rapier. Even when I am pretty aggressive, and I don't think this deck is going to be an aggressive build, it's going to be a much more controlling version of Black-Red, where maybe a splash into blue could end up being really nice. So I'm going to take the Baron in case we get some sick Grixis rare. Undercity Dire Rat's a good card to trade off early. Get your treasure token for later. The treasure to sack the Deadly Dispute, or sacking the rat to the Deadly Dispute is fine. I'm currently on the one dual land towards blue. As much as I think a blue splash could be reasonable by the end of things, I'm not going to hop on this early on just like a combat tutorial. It's a good draw spell. Certainly a better card than Dire Rat by a little bit. But again, I'm not married to the blue splash. It'll take something pretty solid to get me to commit to that. This is not a terrible Blazing Bomb deck, actually. All 4 of our Thunder Magics are castable for 4 mana if we want to trigger the bomb. We can cast Sephiroth's Intervention for 4, Side Quest for 4. That's 6 cards that trigger at minimum. Should take Blazing Bomb over Ahriman. Probably an okay Esper Rama deck as well. Tons of non-creature, non-land cards to put into our grave, to then try to use this as another removal spell. I'm going to have like a million wizards, though. It's probably still not going to be great. So the Blitzball speculation could be more worth it, but those are the 2 options there. Go deep enough on just all card drawn removal spells, and Elixir could be a win condition. Just shuffle all your removal spells and card draw back in the deck over and over till your opponent dies and mills out first. That feels quite unlikely, so I'm just going to take Speculative Fixing again. Grab Insomnia. Don't have any Graveyard Recursion for the reinforcements, but this is still a decent body that gains you a little bit of life when you drop it, so it wouldn't be bad here. But we could also try to go for like Black Mage win cons with the Elder. Pretty mid, pretty filler card, but this is kind of the deck for it, because it also synergizes with the Esper Rama. He'll Gigas over Water Crystal or Barrett. Haste Magic I will not be running. Elixir I probably won't be running, but if I want to get real goofy with it, that is a very, very, very slow win con. All right, pack 3, pick 1 looks like Vane's Treachery to me. Not aggressive enough to care about Vaughn, and we don't have any of those card types. Vaughn doesn't even have haste or anything, so it's just really hard to connect with this card and get casting those spells. Laughing Mad would be okay, I suppose. And that's about it. Freya is for pretty dedicated, aggressive decks, ideally ones with good equipment, so you can use the equipment mana as well as equip stuff onto your little flyer. But Treachery looks pretty good for us here. Another Treachery. Crossroads Village. And a whole lot of nothing. Another Treachery it is. Certainly cutting Vincent's limit break because we're on a really low creature count. We still have just 1 card that would trigger the Fang, so we really likely want to cut that as well. Ultimisia is a finisher off the splash, but she needs double blue to be like a major, major finisher, but just the 5 mana 4/5 Surveil 2 over and over is already solid. Could also take another blue duel, and we could also take a Laughing Mad. It's really tons of very reasonable options here. The Seath synergizes with Fang, I guess, which is cute. I feel like I really am looking for another good finisher. I'm going to take this Ultimisia. See if we can get 1 or more splashes into blue for her as the win condition. The additional win condition outside of Xenos. Okay, pick 4. Cornered by Black Mages looks really nice in this deck. Super, super removal heavy, so blow up their creature, get a wizard, and just ping them over and over and over and over. I like that a little better than Heck Dies, but Heck Dies would also be good. We're low on 2 mana creatures. Pick 5, there we go. There's Heck Dies, we'll play this one. I think I'm gonna just splash in Ultimisia, nobody else. Try to move the Laboratory Maniac. I don't think that's the thing. Let's grab a Laughing Mad. over Light of Judgment because we have so much better removal. Another good 2-mana creature to trade off with. Come on in, Dire Rat. Filling out that slot, having some good defensive speed. Just playing creatures to trade off or chump with early until we get to our bigger removal. And then, of course, the card draw that'll pull us ahead. This looks like a very reasonable deck here. Get a Trino to help out the Ultimecia. Seems good to me. Again, Zell's not the most exciting card ever, even in more aggressive strategies, and certainly not for this kind of deck. I'd like to drop this Ifrit pretty badly. I think I'd play a Monk's Fist over it. That card is also not super exciting. Try Poison the Waters. We're really not a Freya deck. Yeah, I don't know there. I'll definitely play the Seath over it. Okay, we'll go Seath over the Ifrit. This is 24 non-land cards right now, so I guess the last cut is that Monk's Fist I randomly picked up. Should be a fun one, a really controlling version of red-black. I've definitely seen Grixis be this controlling before, but it's usually a lot deeper into the blue. What did you do in your latest update, Arena? Why did you put it the other direction? Why are my creatures on the bottom when I sort by creature? Guess I'll just put the instants and sorceries on bottom instead if you want to be weird like that, Arena. Alright. Actually a little more creatures than it looked like, but we do have to also remember that there are 4 Thunder Magics here. So it looks like a little less spells than normal because it doesn't like splay out all the Thunder Magics. Doesn't splay out our 2 treacheries. We're on 12 creatures. Solid control deck. The 12 creatures does not include the side quests, though. Or the one side quest, the Hunt the Mark. Does include the Esperama. Yeah, looks fun, looks strong. Pretty happy to see how it plays out. So without further ado, let's just hop back into Final Fantasy. Here we are on the draw for game 1, and this is going to be one of those Xenos openers that we were talking about, where we have multiple removal spells, but because we know we have the Xenos, the plan is going to be to not blow up anything that would die to Xenos. Save these for whatever survives. Still going to lead with Thunder Magic. There are a couple cards that they could have here that would be bad enough. We'd want to blow them up immediately because we won't be able to Xenos till turn 5, so they like haste out a 2/2 haste or something crazy. Like Prompto. Just stop all of that damage from the get-go rather than taking 5 turns of 2. I guess 4 turns. 8 damage total if I just don't interact with Prompto till Xenos. They play a Plains, they play an item, Shopkeep. Which would be 6 points of damage until I Xenos. I think I'm chill for now to see what they play this turn, because they could play something better to kill. But if I want to kill something, I think I do really need to kill something this turn, because turn 3 I will absolutely need to cast a Laughing Mad. Oh god. 3/3. Trample Haste. I believe even if I full control, I can't kill the token. Yeah, it's just auto-attached. There's no opportunity to kill the token while it's just a 1/1, sadly. So we need to Treachery and stop some damage here so that I have time to Laughing Mad on turn 3, because I'm going to need to do that to make sure I hit my lands. I'm playing Treachery over Thunder Magic because if we don't have any permanents on board, Treachery can't kill anything bigger, but Thunder Magic for 4 100% can. Thunder Magic for 4 mana will blow up the Katana up 3/3. And again, we've drawn none of our earlier creatures here, none of our Black Mage token producers either, so we'll probably have to Laughing Mad away the Deadly Disputes. but I don't think it'd be crazy to just discard one of the removal spells, considering we are working our way towards Xenos. White Mage's Staff, small enough for Xenos. Take 3, go to 14. And they go to pass. Let's Laughing and Mad. I think we have to just hit Deadly Dispute because we're so unlikely to play another permanent right now. Get a tap land and a swamp. Tapped creature here is rough, but probably still the best play. So if I play the untapped land now to Thunder Magic that, then I won't have the untapped Xenos mana the turn after this. There's the removal for the creature. No haste, please. That does not have haste. But it allows them to move the katana for only 1 mana to give it haste. That's really good. Oh, they're saving their mana instead. So they must have a Thunder Magic here. That does not affect our play at all. Thunder Magic will not matter to this board. So here's Xenos. We've cleared them down to just the 1/3/3. And there's Fate of the Suncrist on our Xenos. Now we... Ooh. I need 1 more instant or sorcery engrave for this to kill that. Oh wait, no, it's 3. I don't need to deal 4. I was just thinking about 4 because that's what Thunder Magic does. Perfect then. We Rama that token, and then we have a permanent out for Vane's Treachery for where they play next if we need to. Furion. Yeah, we certainly need to kill Furion. And then Paladin's Arms as well. Okay, Rama sacks itself anyway, so I don't care about sacking it to Treachery. Oh my god, I forgot to do it in response. I clicked too fast. I had to kill that before that trigger went on the stack. For them to not get the token here. Oh god, it gives haste too? Ooh. Just get kind of mass punished there then. Okay. So, Thunder Magic, I guess I just Thunder Magic one of them and block the other. That was a very loose turn. I completely forgot about the haste and the double. Just needed to kill Furion right away. Okay. Just do this now anyway. Okay. Need a 4th mana untapped to be able to Thunder Magic for 4. I feel like anybody they play, I could at least Treachery. So I'm not going to play this land out yet because I do have the Laughing Mad for it. Anima, that's painful, but big. If I play this Anima and they play anything with more than 2 toughness, I'm probably dead, but I'm going for it. And I can chump with Anima and soak up some damage. Honestly, don't even think I'm doing Laughing Mad. I'm just getting as much mana as possible for all this removal. I can play a 4-mana Thunder Magic and a 2-mana Veins Treachery. Now I can Laughing Mad away the Vector. Yeah, we don't hold up a blocker here. They go to 2. What is the final chapter? They have to sack a creature and lose 3, so they just die to Anima. Slash of Light on the Seath. Are they gonna die to the Anima trigger? That would be so sick. Slash of Light on it? Sure. They don't have enough equipment to actually kill it with the Slash of Light. Bit of a sloppy game there, but luckily the deck idea, the plan of the deck worked out really, really well for us and kind of carried. The big sloppy play being not just blowing up Furion before the job select equipment entered. It's been a while. Been a while since I played the set, obviously the first draft back into this flashback season, but that was still so loose. I played a lot of Furions, so I should have remembered just blow it up immediately. They have an equipment on the stack. We need to stop that trigger. So they got a whole extra creature worth of value that we could have stopped. If we treacheryed the Furion away, then the Paladin's Arms would not have had haste, and there would not have been the duplicate for the extra hero I needed to kill. So I would have been like 1 card above what I'm at now. I'd have like 4 removal spells and a Vector sitting here. So we could have had an even more commanding lead there if I played it out. But I'm really happy to see that the deck really came together here. The Laughing Mad into the Xenos. I mean, a lot of this game was Xenos did 2-for-1 them pretty well. Or 3-for-1 them, killed 2 of their creatures and got a removal spell out. But the idea of just a bunch of removal and the huge card draw from Anima to make sure we just have plenty left over played out quite well for us. That is 1-0 heading into game 2. All right, here we are now on the play for game number 2. It's all of our creatures in the opener, which was pretty funny. Got our double blue right off the bat if we find Ultimecia. There's Xenos for us. Play out our creatures that just survive a Xenos. Like the Seath. My Mycelian Elder survives as well, but its token would not. Treachery is the draw here. Probably am still supposed to play my Mycelian Elder, even if the token dies to a Xenos. I mean, I can hold up a Treachery. It's not bad at all. Namazu Trader. Treachery that, sacking the rats, and then I know I have Xenos mana off of the treasure token. Xenos is killing 1 creature right now, though. Which is awkward. I could get an instant Xenos flip if they block incorrectly. If I like Treachery the Gardener and then attack into the Trader and then play Xenos. I feel like I really don't need to get this gambly, but it's fun, so I'm gonna be an idiot. I mean, like, if they don't block the Seath with the Trader, then sure, we've put them to 9, which is still great. And if they do, we win. No, they could just have one removal spell on Xenos, but still. Oh, I guess Xenos doesn't flip instantly, but I only have to kill a 0/1 to flip Xenos now. And we did need to draw specifically a black source to play Xenos, so it does look like that it was pretty reasonable to sack Dire Rat just to make sure we had exactly black mana, thanks to the treasure token. I could just Thunder Magic this and hit them for 8 to the face, but if they want to chump Xenos, that's fine. You know what? No, that's probably worth it. I guess the one thing I don't like is I don't want to like spend a Thunder Magic on this token and then have them respond with Sephiroth's intervention. It feels like with an instant up for them, they're probably killing Xenos here. Or not. They're cycling airship crash, okay. Well, we put them to 1 life if we flip Xenos next turn. Never mind. It's not going to be 1, but it's still going to be low. And now we know it'll resolve. And they've got 1 mana, but 1 mana is not going to kill Xenos. Still no second black source is quite awkward. Kill a town greeter, get a treasure to play a 3/3 here? Is that crazy to do? It's probably not quite worth it. Arden. Guess I'll die. I mean, we are like a very, very removal loaded deck, so if we find removal for Arden, we can still win, but otherwise... The lifelink gets them there? Wait, is there no flyer engrave? There's no flyer engrave. Okay, we still win. I mean, they're at 9? They're dead to any spell. I just need to hit a spell, period. And we ping them to dead. If we don't hit a spell, they win. The second black source I needed earlier. Well... I mean, you've seen how our deck is, where we have just infinite removal spells, because there's incredible removal at common in black, Vane's Treachery and Sephiroth's Intervention. So I don't think that it was crazy to play around the removal there and try to save the Thunder Magic, so I'm not just like flipping Shinryu into a Sephiroth's Intervention, which they had the open mana up for. But we would have won this game if we did just go for it there. I was trying to view Battlefield. I was trying to view Battlefield. What happened? I punted again, but we find the victory through strange circumstance. Okay, so I think what happened... Oh, no, they punted. Yeah, no, they punted. I think. But they might have been dead no matter what. So... If Namazu Trader was the literal only creature in all of the graveyards, then they would lose the game no matter what. Because while Arden does say exile up to one target creature from a graveyard, so they could choose not to. They could choose not to exile it there. If they didn't get another creature for more lifelink, then they would still just die to the 8 on the crackback, I think. So if Namazu Trader was the only creature in either graveyard, which I think it was at that point, then I think they lose no matter what if they didn't have removal. Which I completely forgot has like the ping them for 1 trigger when it enters. So, I mean, they may have forgot as well, or because it was the only creature in grave, they're like, well, I guess I just die anyway. That was such a weird way to end that game. Anyways, as I was saying, I think that's 2 games in a row that we had a slightly questionable line. I mean, I don't think we made like a genuine, like, massive misplay this time. We made a big one in the first game with the Fury, and that's just objectively all the information's on the table. We know how that's going to play out. We're supposed to respond there, and I didn't respond. So first game was like a genuine misplay. Second game, though, has to do with the hidden information of what's in their hand. When they have 4 open mana in a black deck, a bunch of cards in hand, it does play much worse for us if we just Thunder Magic the 0-1 into them interventioning. But the way that game played out, they didn't have any removal, so we ended up just flipping the Shinryu later anyway. We could have won the game earlier before they even got to Arden Mana, and it would have been a way, way safer plan. So that just goes to show that sometimes you just kind of got to make them have it. Just go for those big swingy plays, hope they don't have the removal. But I think there were enough things going on. They were black. They had like 5 or 6 cards in hand. They had 4 open mana that I didn't want to risk it there. So didn't play out super great for us, but still won us the game, luckily, in crazy, like, incredibly strange fashion. There just weren't enough good creatures in grave for Arden, so we somehow don't get life-linked out for 10 on that swing. Man, that is 2-0 heading into game 3. Here's all the black sources now. This is a very good opening hand, mana-wise at the very least. Playing against Boros, they start with Adelbert, which if they don't play any equipment, which is pretty unlikely, but if they don't, I'm just going to bomb them immediately. I feel like they will have one. Any 2 or 3 mana job select equipment would get them there. They could have the combat trick here too. You know, go for it. If they play a combat trick instead of a creature for the turn, that is fine. Oh, it's Coral Sword. So that would save Adelbert no matter how I did it. Like, if I let them just hit me and then it passes to my turn, I'm still going to crack the bomb and try to kill that. And then the sword's going to save it regardless. Here's Massidian Elder. Adelbert is just already an absolute nightmare for us. We've got the side quest for him coming up, but that card is good. They're going to be at 1 billion mana. Never mind. Perfect top deck. Get a bunch of mages out here before we play the Esper Rama. Should get the full synergy going. Get 4 wizards +1/+0. Never mind, they killed one of my wizards. So that's not going to happen anymore. I don't, like, really want to spend removal on this. But if I don't play removal, then I'm playing nothing this turn. And Hunt the Mark really wants to be the first removal spell you cast, so here it is. Renoa will Thunder Magic Renoa. Esper the dog. Go, wizards, go. So many pings. They're at 1,000,000 though from Adelbert, so they're still at 22. But we're one treasure away from our big 5/6 dragon. Coral Sword on to Angelo, the best doggo. We'll go to 14. Weapons Vendor is the play. That's a better target for the Esper. Esper the Vendor, and then I'll have a flipped 5/6 on blocks, a 3/3 on blocks. Start sending in my wizard tokens. Should be fun. I'm just going to keep the mana up here. I can use it to save the dragon or play a Thunder Magic, depending on what happens. White Aura Sight. Well, that exiles the dragon, so much for that. Means we get to keep all the treasure around for something else then. Like a kicked Thunder Magic for, what, like 7 mana? I don't think it's worth Thunder Magicking Angelo. Just save that. Send in the team, play a Dire Rat. They're down to 16. We are at 14. We've close to evened out the game now. They've got 3 more cards in their hand, though. One of which is Opera Love Song. To draw 2, they find plains and plains. Looks like Boros Splash Renoa. We see all basic mountains and plains, and then the non-basics are the green sources. So splashing in green. Samurai's Katana, that is an excellent card. It makes all of their creatures big trample threats, just one at a time. But still, it's going to make every creature they play for the rest of this game pretty relevant. Which means I'm pretty happy to trade Rat into Angelo, because just trading into any creature is good. Thunder Magic away the 3/3 here. I'm going to take the extra damage because they've got some kind of instant in their hand, potentially as well. Maybe a second creature as well, that could be better. Because this is at its core technically just a 1/1. So even if they play like a Weapon Vendor, that's a better target. Okay, end step it is. Let's see if we can kill this. It's an extra 3 mana to kick it to try to play around a combat trick. I'd have to crack 2 of my treasures. Might be worth it to crack 2 more treasures to really be sure. They can't combat trick save it. I think I'm going to. Because we still have 2 treasures. Unless it's exactly the hexproof trick. The uncommon thing. Cool. Sephiroth's Intervention's the draw. And just keep whittling them away with the mages. Battle menu for a 2/2. Every single creature they play is very important with all those equipment. Mainly just the katana. Sly will kill anything that shows up. And hope that we draw more removal than they draw creatures. That is kind of the deck plan. Stop playing spells now, so if we hit our discard a card, draw 2, we can play it. Our 3 best draws now are all of our draw spells. We actually have 4 of them, I believe. No, we have 3 of them. We have Summon Anima, and we have Laughing Mad and Deadly Dispute. Those are the best draws. And lands are the worst draws. And we die really fast if we flood. That's the case in most top deck wars, sadly. Go to 3. There's very little point in blocking because of the trample. Land are our last three draws of the game, and that's magic. That's going to be 2-1 heading into game 4. Here we are for game 4. No black source in the opener is really bad. We have 9 in the deck. And this has a Thunder Magic no matter what. But I mean, it's what? It's 9 out of 33. I feel like I got a mulligan this. Alright, this is much better. Alright. On the play here for game 4. Get the curve into sacking a token to Deadly Dispute. Rat versus rat. Rat on rat violence. Go. Might just crack this treasure for Deadly Dispute. Fang is the play. I would really like to draw a way to kill the Fang. Crack the treasure, play a Dire Rat. Those are not ways to kill the Fang. Don't do it. Don't play Vanille immediately after. Resentful Revelation, do some digging. Really good for a graveyard deck. It's also got Flashback to trigger the Fang and draw another card when they flash it back. There's Town Greeter, which I think triggers the Fang as well. I'm just picking up a land, right? Yep, so there goes Fang. First draw from Fang. So Fang is at least solid. Ultimecia is the draw. Really trying to hit Anima Mana now. I feel that I have to play Ultimecia though, because Esperama really doesn't do anything to my city, and Elder doesn't do anything. Sets up our draws, makes sure that we're finding decent spells here. Like cornered by black mages. They've got a Town Greeter out. I don't have double red for this Rama. Man, so I'd have to Rama first to kill the Town Greeter, then cornered by black mages, and by then we don't know what else they'll have played out. Oh, this might be a mill both. I mean, if I mill the black mages, then I know Rama's at least 2 damage. Which is something. I got a double red card in hand. Let's just get the source for it. But I'm not very excited about our next few turns. Definitely still just setting up, whereas our opponent can just be drawing a lot of Fang cards without much interaction from us. Marlboro's a great 2-for-1 as well. Make us ditch a card. Drop the Elder. And just exile our lands. Luckily there's nothing important on top. Find another black source so that the double red card is stuck in hand. Any of the trades into Ultimecia are fine. I think Ultimecia trades down into Marlboro here, but like we're never going to hit double blue. We could really use another Surveil. Thunder Magic is a good draw. I'll keep that. If we had the Thunder Magic like a turn soon, that would have been a really good turn for us. They would double block and then would just kill the Town Greeter and the Marlboro and keep the 4/5. Opponent lives the dream. They have Fang and Vanille, and even though I can stop Fang and Vanille from turning into Ragnarok, they get to draw another card off of Fang, pick up their best card in Graveyard, which is a removal spell that makes treasures, and this hand has just been very mid this game. I feel like we're watching them pop off while kind of seeing the worst version of our deck. Yeah, this game feels really bad because it feels like there's very little chance of turning this around and winning, but also it's going to take a while to actually lose. We're just kind of watching them get 2 or 3 more cards worth of value every single turn. Yeah, I mean, it really did play out like I said earlier, where it's like, I feel like we needed to have some piece of removal to kill Fang early, and we did not find the removal to kill Fang until quite late. I probably should have actually killed Fang instead of Vanille there. But Vanille was all glowing and highlighted, so I was scared. But technically I should have killed Fang first. To kill a T-Rexar, I need a bajillion mana. I guess I can block and then throw Thunder Magic at it. If I don't kill Fang now, they can Revelation, draw another card. And even if I hold Thunder Magic up, they could, like, hunt the Mark the Rat, and then I don't even have enough power to try to Thunder Magic the T-Rex. Alright, I'm just going to speed through the rest of this game, because our chance of winning is like 0.5%, so... Head empty. Let's just mentally check into game number 5. They're up a bunch of cards, one of which is like a mythic uncommon, the best card in our deck for sure. Best uncommon in our deck. Second Fang. They have 2 Fangs and 2 Vanille. They really lived the Golgari dream. Alright, I'm just going to actually genuinely check out. 2-2 heading into game 5. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 5. We are really looking to draw some removal. But this has all of our colors in the opener and some of the treasure-producing rats early. So I think it's got what we want in an opener outside of interaction. 1 or 2 removal spells instead of like Ultimisia, and then this top-decked Anima would be better. Draw another double black card, but not the second swamp yet, so... Not getting through the Sentinel. Our opponent might not know that. Alright. They're not going to play around like a Thunder Magic on Sentinel or anything, which is fair. I would not either. Because even if I had removal here, I think... Like, pretend that we're the opponent there. Like, I'd be happy if my opponent, like, attacked it and then also Thunder Magic the Sentinel. I'm like, that's just value. Another red source before the second black. Then we got the opposite mana issue this game. Had some pretty awkward mana this game and last game, but I do want to state that I don't think it's anything to do with the way that we built the deck or the splash towards Ultimisia, because if you count up the sources, we have just as good a mana base as a 2-color deck that doesn't have a dual. We're on a 9-8 split, 9 black, 8 red. So that's just mana issues in general. Find it now, which means we can corner instead of Ultimisia here. Corner's just going to kill Sentinel, it's not the greatest. I don't mind dropping Ultimisia, but also they're a blue deck, they could just have Syncopate here. Corner by Black Mage isn't exactly going to get, like, better from here. It'll just still kill Sentinel or Vaughn later. So they could poke them for 2. So they just crack back for 1. Now that Vaughn's out of the way. Warrior's Sword. Thunder Magic is the draw. Let's Ultimecia make sure we hit Anima mana. There's the 6th mana for Anima. We do not need the 7th. I could keep it for a 7 mana Thunder Magic, but that seems unnecessary against blue-red. Yep, because I can already just Thunder Magic that for 4, which I'm 100% doing. They could double block Ultimecia here, but I can still set up the draw. I'm 1 blue source away from Ultimecia going crazy, and I have 2 rats that turn into a treasure to do the flip. I'm just going to wait. Because I need 8 cards in grave, so it'll be a while still. But, ooh, they are a really good blue-red deck. They have the bomb rare and the bomb uncommon. Draws them a card every time they play a spell for 4 or more. Alright, we play the land first, so if they have a Syncopate, we can pay the 1, and then we drop Anima. And draw another land. Awkward. Pass. Okay, I'm having to, like, reread Ultimecia. So Ultimecia can't flip on an attack. It's always an end-step flip. Okay. Feels a little early, but they don't like what's going on there, so I guess we'll grab a victory there. Now we're at the 50-50 record no matter what. Pretty happy with that. We did just get 2 losses in a row real quick, so I was a little nervous. Did not want to get, 2-0 into 0-3'd. And now we haven't. We've got at least a 50-50 record out of this draft. Alright, here's another kind of awkward opener. The Esperama and the Elder are some of our most filler cards. Technically they play well together, but the Sand's not doing a lot. Think we still keep this? If we hit like a Swamp and a Thunder Magic, all of a sudden it's a great hand. Those would be like the dream draws. I think there's plenty of pretty reasonable draws here. I'll keep it rather than start the game down a card. There's the Thunder Magic. Do we hit the Swamp as well? Am I in Magical Christmas Land? The Thunder Magic, we have 4 in the deck. So it wasn't super unlikely, but it was less unlikely than the... it was less likely than the Swamp. There's like 8 other black sources in the deck, so all of a sudden, drawing the Thunder Magic first, that dream hand is not far away. Because then it's exactly what you want. It's just early interaction, black mages, and then the card draw to refuel on that removal. Alright, we have not drawn the dream draw yet, but we can wait 1 more turn for that Swamp. We didn't need it until turn 3 for the Cornered by Black Mages. The second Mycetian Elder, I guess, is solid with the Esper, but again, doesn't really fit the game plan as a whole, which is going to be play removal, refuel, play removal. Alright. Wyvern is nice to see. They're going to be happy with the exchange as well, because I'm spending a removal spell to kill 2/3 of the Wyvern. They keep the 1/1. But I'm happy to see something small enough to actually shoot. Ah, it's another non-black source. It exactly dodged black by being a blue-red tap land. Well, my Mycetian Elder holds off the damage for now. Combat tutorial, my Mycetian Elder still holds off the damage. Ooh, they missed a land off of a draw too as well. It's rough. Esper and kill a 1/1 is not super exciting. So I'll chill for a second, but I'll probably do that next turn if we still don't hit the black. Alright, they found their 4th land, and there's the Hagen, incredible card. Okay, we have finally hit the black, but we definitely don't want to corner by black mages a 1/1 token away, so we're going to Esper the token away and corner one of the other two creatures that are just better. They've got a 2-mana instant here. Could be Dreams of Laguna, could be Syncopate, but they can't Syncopate. I have the mana up. If they don't play a Dreams of Laguna in this end step, then we have to assume that they have a Syncopate in hand. It could be the Ice Magic, I guess. Ice Magic a token. Fine by me. I mean, all of our other stuff has an enter the battlefield effect, so they weren't going to get great value out of the Ice Magic, however they played it. Dragoon's Wyvern. I was okay with the first one, but the multiples is kind of rough, because our deck's not super good against creatures that make multiple when they enter. Just the Cornered by Black Mages is super bad against that. That's real awkward. We Ultimecia here. Gotta find a way to deal with this Wyvern quickly. And this plays around Syncopate. Puts a Seath in our grave. That's a good card to have in the grave. This just bounces off Sentinel. So unless I send like the whole board in, I'm not really hitting here. I mean, even then, 4-3 on the 2-5, 2-3 on a 1-3. I hit for like 2 damage if I tap the whole board. Just feels pretty bad. Side quest, Hunt the Mark. Incredible card. Our hand would be beautiful if we had that in hand. I'm jealous again. Laughing Mad is the draw. They're tapped out here. I mean, they've got 1 mana, but that's not enough for any Syncopate style cards. There we go. There's Hunt the Mark. We're going to be taking some damage here, though, because it's a little bit late. We couldn't kill the Sahagin before it hits, so Sahagin can just hit us for 3 here. Ooh, Marlborough as well. This board's getting really bad. What is that? What? They want a Thunder Magic or Anima really badly? I think that's fine, right? Thunder Magic, the Anima, and then side quest the Wyvern? Oh, it was just a genuine oops. Well, that's lucky. That's really lucky for us. Trade Anima into 4-4 or 5-5 on blocks. I have to kill the flyer here. If they find a way to blow up this Anima, we're pretty dead. Ooh, they don't. Xenos is not good on this board, but Xenos sets up for Cornered by Black Mages to be a lot better. Could cast both. They have Syncopate for like 6 here. It's not the complete end of the world if Xenos gets syncopated. And a Syncopate's going to be really rough for us. However we play things, if they have one. This is our best line if they don't. Yep, Syncopate is good. Resolve. So now I could corner here, kill a 1-1, just get the treasure for Hunt the Mark. Instead of playing the rat. Rat doesn't help too much on blocks, sure. The rat would, like, in theory, help flip the hunt the mark, but if we don't kill a creature that turn, we're on 1 treasure, holding up a rat on blocks, which would still put us to 2, which is kind of the same. Ice Flam, tap and stun. An Elder? Probably. Yep. Pass through. Now they have to sack a creature and lose 3. Really good work from Summon Anima this game. We also have the Thunder Magic. I don't need to kill something here because I've already killed something, so I've got a 5/6 blocker up, and I can hold off on Thunder Magic for now. But I can also just Thunder Magic while they're tapped out, and that's perfectly reasonable. Just gonna do that. Two cards left in their hand. Here's a Thunder Magic backup. Things go super wrong. But we just poke them with our dragon a couple turns in a row. Shuffle it back into the deck. Yeah, I can't stop that. I think I'm gonna Laughing Mad discard this. This Seeth. There's card collection. That's gonna be a 4/4 flyer. So that might be the Thunder Magic target, because they can just crew up a flyer on us each turn. It's a very good card draw spell, card selection. Play a tap land. They discarded a Black Mage's Rod to keep this land, so they need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably have an Arden, but we have the Thunder Magic for the Arden. Okay. Such a cute combo. The Laughing Mad itself counts as the spell for the Seeth. Oh my god. Actually a combo player over here. They're a 9. I might be able to just ping them out of the game immediately. Like, talk about a combo player. Good grief. You shoot that. Hit for 4, ping another 2 with the Thunder Magic. Not quite. Not quite, but boy, do we get close. Just drew a bunch of cards, too. Yeah, if we drew any spell, they'd be dead. Arden is small enough to die to this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Memories Returning is not Arden. You can have a Swamp. Oh, put it on the bottom. Okay, get rid of an Ice Magic. I think they're dead no matter what. Because they're essentially at 1 life with the Thunder Magic in our hand. This was kind of a wild game. This was a long one, and certainly a back and forth. I felt like we were pretty behind for the majority of the early game. Put them to 1 in response. And there's the concession from our opponent. That is 4 and 2. I was almost certain at one point in that game it was going to be the 3/3, but very, very good draws in the end game. I mean, the multiple draw spells in a row was also really sick, but Summon Anima hard carried and flipped that game around. It drew us 3. It made them sack an extra creature. That card was very, very good, as well as the Hunt the Mark. I think those two pretty premium uncommons there were absolutely essential to flipping that one back in our favor. 4-2 it is, heading into game number 7. Here we are on the draw for game number 7. This looks like a really good opener. We really want to draw Swamp, but we have a Thunder Magic, an Undercity Dire-Rat, and a Deadly Dispute, regardless of draws. Any land gives us the Elder for very expendable cards to sack to the Dispute, but even the Rat, obviously quite expendable as well. So I think this is a perfectly solid way to start things off. There's Baby Appa. The little tiny one. Our first draw of the game is Garland, which is pretty nice. If we run out the Garland first and they don't interact with them, Garland can set up the rest of our draws. The one problem I have here is that our first 2 draw steps have not hit a land. If we miss 3 lands in a row, then no 3-drop on turn 3. It's going to hinder the curve quite a lot. I mean, everything will be castable, but it's still really important to be able to run things out quickly, which will not be the case. Okay, now if we miss a land, we're dead, period, because Saws is a bomb rare and a half. So we gotta go land here so I can Thunder Magic the Saws. Even if I go land, because they're on the play, Saws can put a counter on himself, double the counters, and he'll be a 5/5 on the first attack. And then Thunder Magic is not enough. I could just be dead. Play a Dire Rat, threaten the double block, and hold up Thunder Magic feels like the best bet here. Tempted to Deadly Dispute to make sure that I can Thunder Magic cornered by Black Mages next turn, but if I don't stop them from making him a 5/5, neither of those are going to do anything about him anyway. So we play our block in the best way, or play our spells in the best way to block and stop them from being a 5/5 if possible. If they have like the Hexproof Indestructible trick, that is GG immediately. Okay, looks like they're just going to go for some value off of Saws. I could have Thunder Magic Garnet in response, but I want to have this up in case some funny business happens here to try to save them. This might be enough to stop. Like they removal spell Garland here, I could still Thunder Magic him post-combat. Okay. Nice. Saws has been dealt with, and any land will deal with Garnet. Or I could Thunder Magic Ash. Garnet's a 4/4 lifelinker. If they play any summons, that's going to be really bad. I think Ash is small enough, they probably get like 1 attack trigger and then we just kill her anyway, so I probably shouldn't throw Thunder Magic at Ash. Because like the 2/2s still hold Ash off. Yeah, I think we pass, hope it's land 4, Thunder Magic Garnet. Okay, it is not land 4. So we play a Blazing Bomb holding up Dispute and Thunder Magic. And then off of the Rat and the Dispute being cast this turn, we'll have multiple treasure tokens to play whatever kind of interaction we need to do the turn after this. Thunder Magic is a spell I can cast for 4 to make Blazing Bomb at least do 2 damage. I think I might just Deadly Dispute the treasure that the Rat makes and save the bomb. I will still be left with a treasure because I sack a treasure, make a treasure, so I know I have Thunder Magic mana next turn, so next turn it's kill Garnet. I have a 2-power Blazing Bomb if I need it. Please don't buff Garnet. This is a human noble cleric. This buffs artificers and heroes. Thank God. Okay, so Sid doesn't really do anything right now. Okay, Sid buffs the staff. Fair enough. 2/2 still stops the Gardener. I'd need to play one more 4-mana or better spell to make Bomb a reasonable blocker. Might need to sack Bomb for more mana. Because Bomb isn't doing anything relevant next turn. It'll still take at least one more turn at this point. I'm gonna keep the Bomb. Xenos is the draw. Which really is not relevant. If the only thing I care about is my life total, we just let them keep lifelink here and we Thunder Magic Sid and bomb the staff creature. Yeah, Xenos doesn't do anything. Ultimecia dies to Lunatic Pandora. Cornered by Black Mages kills a 1/3. Really does feel like our best line. But if they draw any Saga creatures for Garnet, those are going to shred us so fast. I can play Xenos and try to set up to where if Gubu Garner dies, Xenos flips, but I mean, then they just kill Xenos with Pandora. Yeah, that's just not a thing. It's probably Elder cornered by Black Mages and set up chumps here. Lose the treasure. No Ultimecia. No Ultimecia until I chump with Rat, which will be a future coming up soon. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can wait to chump with Rat to play Ultimecia. This buys us a lot of time. 3 chumps. And all we need in that time is just like one Sephiroth's intervention. Thunder Magic doesn't do it because it's got a staff on it. Can chump with Rat and sack the treasure to Thunder Magic the Garnet. Then Xenos isn't going to kill Torgal. Because Torgal's going to have the staff on him now. I think I'm going to chump for another turn. But I don't think it'd be crazy to throw a Rat and a Thunder Magic at Garnet here. So I'm now 1 mana away from the 7 mana Thunder Magic. So once Dire Rat dies, I can use its treasure and the Vector untapped as well for Thunder Magic for 8 damage. Do we play Xenos and just get Lunatic Pandora out of the way? Xenos kills the Torgal and then makes them use Pandora on Xenos, and then I chump with the 1/3. And then I have the Thunder Magic on Garnet. I think so. And I've got a 5/5 flyer out of the grave with Garland when the dust settles. I think I have to block here because we have cards like Anima that shoot us to draw cards. Zane's Treachery is actually so awkward here because I was really hoping to draw something that would leave us with the outcome of killing Garnet without losing this treasure. And Treachery just gives us another way to kill Garnet by losing the treasure. Like, I guess now I could play Ultimecia and then sack Ultimecia to the Treachery to kill the Garnet, but that's bad. I guess I could block in Treachery, but then if they have a combat trick, it's horrible for us. They had a combat trick, they'd have saved Torgal. This feels gambly, but it's where I'm at. That's a good draw. Now, even if we get kind of blown out off of a Treachery block, we could still be fine. It's going to give us the treasures to maybe flip Ultimecia, and then also the treasures to maybe get a big Dargon. Alright, again, if they had the trick earlier, they would have saved Torgals, so unless they found it within the last couple turns, this should work. Okay. Ooh. This game's got me all nervous. They're at 51 life. We got a bit of a battle to go, but that was a very good turn for us. Very long fight towards stabilizing, but we may be there. Find a Heck dies, that feels good. Get our treasure and pass. I actually should have kept the land for Garland. Just lands for our opponent. Intervention coming up. I'm just going to keep both. Our opponent is frustrated. But that is stabilizing with control for you. Anima first for sure. Keep up the instant speed removal rather than playing Garland to be super safe, I think. I mean, I guess they're not going to have any haste. But at the very least, I don't want to crack the treasure. Stuck in Summoner Sanctum's fine. Okay, now we do want to play the Garland pretty quick, since we won't have that as a win con. Actually, we will. We can still flip. Oh my god, we can still flip once we get to the blue sources. So that removal is actually quite bad against the Ultimecia. And they would have to draw kind of a Mega Bomb Rare to get through all this removal. Sure.
That's rough, buddy.
Okay, I don't really want to draw more cards right now. I want to get another blue source. I have to blow up an opposing card to get the blue, though, so we just have to pass. Cyclicid. So they're playing entirely on the mill plan then. They don't want to play any creatures so that we don't get any treasure. Is their plan? Put chaos into our deck if nothing else. I could like removal spell loop the chaos. It's kind of cute. Do I have my Seath in the grave? I do not have the Seath in the grave. They have 14 cards, we have 10. Don't have to removal spell loop chaos forever. Just for a bit. Plus we just genuinely have another blue source for Ultimecia. So whenever we find that, that's a thing. Slash of Light, the heck dies. Really just looking for my blue. Yeah, we didn't mill any of our blue sources, so there's 3 still in the deck. Sage's Nullis is the play. I thought this whole time that they were like next leveling us. Of like just going entirely on the mill plan, don't play any creatures and they can't get any treasures, but maybe they just genuinely haven't drawn cards. Because it'd be really weird to do that for a long time and then choose to play like a 2-1 that I can now just like kill and get the treasure. Yeah, I don't know. Shoot that, get the treasure for Ultimecia now. Can I order it to where I actually can flip Ultimecia? Yes, I can. I guess she transforms, but she doesn't actually... Hold up. She transforms, I get an extra turn, but she doesn't untap. Actually, probably just not even supposed to take the extra turn then. Primal Garuda. Blow up the Seath. I feel so lucky here. Because I feel like if they just never played another creature, I'd probably mill out too fast. But they've started playing creatures again, and I think that's super good for me. Because now I can get the 5-6 going. I can just get the Seath right back to my hand anyway. Gotta trigger the Hunt the Mark this turn. We have to kill the flyer to not die on the crackback. I guess I play the Esperama, actually. save the instant speed removal. And have an additional blocker up for the Fenrir. Put Chaos on the bottom. So we already want to do that pretty badly. We've got enough power now. It could be like a 2-turn kill, which is what we need. Only 6 cards in the deck. Okay. Save the Sephiroth's intervention. Kill Sid with Thunder Magic. And that is game. Bonus turn. Stressful game. Because I do think that if they had probably like stopped playing creatures, we likely could have milled out there. Yasmat would just have never flipped. That was a lot of extra damage. I guess it really depends the order of the other stuff that gets the extra damage in, you know? All right. 5 and 2. Actually, like in the money out of this draft at this point. Pretty great stuff. I mean, we started at 2 and 2, so a bit of a rally here now at this point, and they've been some close games for sure. We've started on the back foot, had to stabilize and flip things around. Once in a pretty controlling kind of mirror match, where I think they just had a little bit more of the board presence early. And I was getting pretty nervous there, but then we got a bunch of big card draw, and then there, in a matchup where they got a lot of extra damage in early, so we really had to play it safe early and make sure we were blowing up the right creatures. We got very, very lucky with how that game played out. If they drew any of those Saga creatures earlier instead of later to go alongside their Garnet, we would have gotten completely demolished. But the only way we were killing 2 creatures in that one turn was to kill Sid so that the other creature was small enough to kill with the bomb. So, I mean, I think it played out as well as it could. I think that's the best line we could have done with how things actually played out that game. But it was a risky line. I do want to emphasize that. If they drew just one Saga creature to go with that Garnet early, I don't think we were making it out of that one. So, scary stuff. But 5 and 2 now, heading into game number 8. That was actually a game where it looked like maybe we should put an Elixir in our deck. We've got one in the side. But it would make our early game even worse, right? Like any opening hand with an Elixir would make me like very unhappy. And some of the scariest times, like the scariest portion of the game for this deck is the early game. We take a lot of early damage to set up. There's Xenos to clear out that later if I hit enough mana. I think I play the Dire Rat towards the treasure to get to Xenos. But I don't really want to play Blazing Bomb and just like overcommit into my own board wipe. Lionheart's really good here. That'll kill Garland, and then also they can just equip it on the Paladin's arms to make it too big to block with the rat, so drawing the Cornered by Black Mages is nice. Do that instead, because Lionheart would make it both too big for the rat to block and too big for the Xenos to kill. Plus, we're not hitting lands, so we don't know when Xenos will happen. Fat Chocobo. Yep, 4/4 and a 2/2. That is some stats. Down to 3 cards in their hand. Effect-dies it is. Still not going to Blazing Bomb just yet. If we hit a basic here, Xenos targeting Fat Chocobo could be pretty sick. Oh yeah. Blow up all the Chocobo Racetrack tokens too. Alright, so now I just use Dire Rat for the treasure, guaranteed. And since I'm just gonna play Xenos next turn, I might as well soak up a damage. Soak up 1 trample damage with Hectize. And it might not even look that suspicious. Maybe it just looks like I didn't realize they had trample. Oh, I should have soaked one up with the wizard too. In for a penny, in for a pound. There was no reason not to do the wizard there. One really doesn't impact this board. If they don't have removal, we're gonna crush. But all they need is 1 removal spell, and they're still in the lead with Chocobo Racetrack as their win condition. Chocobo Racetrack with 2 different equipment on the board is terrifying. Like, even if they just hit lands, they're making Chocobos, which could be up to 6 power apiece. Yeah, these are some beefy equipment here. We're gonna have to just try to outrace, hit them 3 times in the sky with Xenos before we die. Yeah, no removal. So all in on trying to outrace here, which that's a lot of creatures out, so that'll be a little hard to do. I can kill 2 of them, though. I can Treachery 1 and Esperama another. Sounds like our best defensive line. I'm not blocking with Xenos. Let's just get the damage in. Make sure the 2 8 damage swings will kill them. Well, I guess I could be blocking with the 8/8. Yeah, no, that attack was not necessary, but it makes them on a 2-turn clock instead of a 3-turn clock. So it's probably still worth it. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. This is their only turn of trample, at least. And then the 1/1 does matter. Good draw. We can play Ultimecia and the bomb now. Thunder Magic looks good. If I saw any lands there I do want to mention, I would keep them. Because a land means playing a 7/7 flyer. Sorry, a 5/5 flyer. A 7 mana flyer, not a 7/7 flyer. Let's see. I mean, if they top decked like a Blitzball to give trample on the attack, we're dead. How do I not die to Blitzball? +3/+3 trample. I guess Ultimecia is the only block I can make that doesn't die to Blitzball, and I could block it like this way so that I also kill if they don't have a Blitzball, which makes it slightly more worth it to lose Ultimecia. Alright, sick. Played it super, super safe because we have the Thunder Magic on top. We know we can clear out their last blocker and just kill them here if they don't randomly blitzball us. Great, great stuff from the bomb rare, and we are 6-2. We have rallied from a 2-2 start all the way to the final battle. This will be the last game of Magic for today, whether we win it or lose it. I made my bed, and now I'll lie in it. This is the deck I drafted. Our opening hand is Swamp Mountain, Vane's Treachery, cornered by Black Mages, Sephiroth's Intervention, side quest, Hunt the Mark. Just 5 bajillion removal spells. Playing against blue-red, we blow up the Emperor of Palamecia immediately before it does any crazy triggers. We'll not blow up the item shopkeep quite so fast. We need another black source pretty desperately. We have Cornered by Black Mages, and more importantly, side quest Hunt the Mark as our big finisher for the game. Wait till the end step in case they play Shuntotto or something better. Rook turret, better enough. I'll Thunder Magic that. Another red. We are really, really looking for the swamp. Because we need to get some kind of threat, some way to actually end this game, and the one way we have is Hunt the Mark. That would have been the perfect turn to hit the swamp because they were tapped out from any kind of counter. Could get that rolling. I mean, unfortunately for our opponent, our hand is really good against theirs. If their hand is all threats, ours is all removal, so we can wait on the Hunt the Mark. There you go. Now we're golden. There's the 2-for-1, there's the finisher. We are good to go. The Lunar Whale. That is your third must-kill threat. So we Treachery that one. It's awkward to have to Treachery it, because the problem with Treachery is that it's not going to trigger the Hunt the Mark, and it's going to make it really hard to use the Hunt the Mark, actually, just all around. Because we're going to have to sack one of our treasures, and we're going to have to kill a creature during their turn instead of ours. Yeah, it only works as long as it's attacked, so they'll have to crew it at some point, and when they do, we Treachery it. There's the Light of Judgment on Ultimecia, now that we finally played a threat. They get to spend their removal. Anima's rough. If I don't top deck a land for the Treachery and then they play a creature here, it's going to be kind of bad, but I think I'm still supposed to just play it. Brainstorm means they almost definitely have the creature for the Lunar Whale. So come on, land. Specifically a swamp. That's what we really want. Otherwise, I'd have to sack the Anima to stop the whale from attacking for the turn. Come on, swamp. Not exactly. So might let the Lunar Whale draw a card here. Well, they actually did just set it up with Brainstorm. Brainstorm plus Lunar Whale's real good. There's Warrior's Sword. I feel like Brainstorm plus Whale is good enough. Likely enough for them to have ordered it in a way where they can just play it all here. Have to Treachery away the Anima. God, if they have the Syncopate here too, that's also devastating. I probably just should not have played Anima. I think I'm just going to hold. I'm going to let it happen. Losing the Anima here is bad. It's got 2 more cards to draw. Okay. Now I get another treasure off cornered by black mages. And have a black mage when I'm casting more removal, and have the removal for the Lunar Whale. Sacking a wizard token instead of a treasure so that I can still try to get my 5/6. I do not have enough black mana to play this Garland here. Not while holding up Vane's Treachery, that is, which is very important to hold up. Excuse me. No creature for our opponent? Let's go, no creature for our opponent. There's some more great expendable creatures for us. Double wizard on this board too. Playing the Dire Rat over the Garland. Because maybe sacking that to the Treachery to flip the Hunt the Mark could be good. I guess I still have to kill something. Even if I have 3 treasures on the board, I need to... Oh wait, no, I don't. I don't have to kill something the turn I flip this. I can sack my own rat. It'll still have the end step trigger. Just be like, if a creature died under your opponent's control, create a treasure. It'll be like, well, I don't create a treasure, but then it'll still say, then if you control 3 more treasures. Yeah, it'll still flip. It'll still flip. Even if I get the treasure by sacking this rat during their turn instead. I think they're also reading the Dire Rat side quest stuff. Fire magic for 3 damage to each creature. That's pretty good here. I cannot stop that. I will get the 5/6 this turn. And a Garland. I think I've got the fuel to not need to Laughing Majesty yet. Oh, I don't? I thought for sure I would. If a creature died under your opponent's control, create a treasure. Then if... I guess it's an if then, right? So only if it died and you get a treasure, then... It feels like a separate clause, but I guess it's part of the same paragraph. Yeah, it's part of the same trigger, which the trigger doesn't happen at all unless a creature dies, I suppose. Well, alright, if I knew that, I probably would have Laughing Matted. But I was like, I mean, 8 power on the board, multiple removal spells. I'm happy with the hand already. I can just run out the mana and chill here. Cool to see for science, at least. Even if it's not cool to see in terms of how well our board is doing right now. It's much smaller without that 5/6. It was threatening almost immediate lethal. Okay, now I can Laughing Mad anyway. Just took a little extra time. all the cards in the world. I don't want to mill out, but I also need to lethal them here with something. Rat helps more than enough, as well as the Seeth in the Grave will be another 3-power attacker. So yeah, I think we have way more than enough threats now off of all that nonsense. Blow up the Garland here. Respond by treacherying that and putting the Seeth in hand. Feels fine. Oh, I guess I tapped out of the treachery for the whale. I completely forgot about the whale for some reason. That was loose. Guarantees more damage here, but it gives them a chance to draw something. Yeah, that was really sloppy. Thinking about too much other stuff. The mind is wandering. They could just equip sword, put me to 6. That is a plan. They have like a Choco Comet. But they know what's on top of their decks. They know if there's a spell to play. Choco Comet the Rat. Okay, that resolves. I could comment my own rat and it would counter the comment they wouldn't get a 2-2, but I want them to have the 2-2 to kill and actually have a 5-6 on my board. Ideally. Perfect draw. Actually perfect draw. We have a second Thunder Magic, so it doesn't matter as much that I was an idiot. And I have a backup way to kill the Lunar Whale here, which requires 6 mana, which I have all 6. It requires 7, but I will have the treasures too. Cool. Boom. Lethal power on the board. Thunder Magic kicked for enough to kill a Thunder Whale. We're chilling. There's Blazing Bomb. Quistis a Choco Comet is not enjoyable. I think if they just like Cometed Face and then Quisted Cometed, I'd probably be dead. Dodged a bullet with that. I think like Sephiroth's Intervention. Okay, Yasmat plays around that. Yeah, that does not actually destroy a Yasmat. Unfortunately, I have to tap out of Thunder Magic mana for that. Wait, no, I still have exactly 7. I'd have to sack every single treasure I have, but I could hit the whale here. They have to chomp. We could still lose this game. I think they have enough mana to kill me with a Choco Comet off the top. Playing land so I could double Yasmat. I don't think I would ever do that. Okay, they don't have enough to kill me with Choco Comet. They could do 8. Yeah, no, if their last card is basic, they top deck a Choco Comet, they go basic Choco Comet face for 9. No, that is not okay. So they've turned that into a full-on removal spell, essentially. Because, Lord, we would be dead if that resolved. And I did play a land even though I had a Laughing Mad engrave here, because I wanted to have access to activating this twice in response to something. So if they did like that and also had instant speed removal, which I guess would not be that likely, especially in blue-red, being able to deal 6 to that. Xenos doesn't actually change anything on board, really. So we send in the team, they have to chump Yasmat and go to 2. And I don't think I'm discarding this Xenos, but we just play it post-combat then. I guess it'll kill my Yasmat if I do that. I guess he's vibing. I don't want to kill Yasmat. Cerberus, Surveil 1, they are dead on board. And that's game. Oh my god. This has been a really, really close run. We've had some very, very close games of Magic all around. Everybody's definitely still getting their footing back for Final Fantasy. We have made multiple misplays today, including, I mean, in that last game of Magic, not having the mana up to blow up the Lunar Whale. Because I blew up the Rama when they still had the whale out ready to crew. Ooh, yeah, some loose stuff here. We might have been able to get an even more commanding record if I played perfectly, but hey, I hate this update. I hate that the creatures go to the bottom. There we go. Back to normal. But yeah, as I was saying, we made a lot of misplays today. Still got the 7-2. I think the deck that we drafted was fantastic. Really happy with how I drafted in this pod. I think it came up with about the best deck we could have out of the pod. There's some things that I would change out of it in a perfect world. I'm not a huge fan of the My City and Elder Esper Rama thing, but they got to play together a little bit, which is kind of cute. I don't play those cards super often, so running them together here, showing them off was fine. The Seath as well, entering tapped is a real big downer, as we saw in a game or two there. That was a little bit rough, but outside of that, it did do its thing of coming back from the grave quite often. So I really think, in terms of things that I could do to make the deck better, it's primarily these 4 cards that I would really change at all. Mainly just these 3 were probably the biggest underperformers. But the deck idea was solid. The anima was absolutely fantastic in here. This was a big overperformer from how it usually does. It's like a fine top end common for like your average decks, but I think it's like exactly what this deck wants. It's the 3-for-1 card draw spell to stay ahead on cards, make up for all the 1-for-1ing you do, and then it's just another 1-for-1 removal spell on chapter 4, making them sack something there. So that played super well. I liked the Ultimecia Splash. It was fun. I mean, we could have played any kind of filler finisher. We kind of just needed one more little extra bit of damage just in case. And as we saw, I mean, one of the games we got really close to milling out. So I'm happy I did go for just a little bit more in terms of win condition power, a little bit more finishers. I think she was definitely worth it. We did need a little bit more to actually end the game. Yeah, everything about the deck I liked a good chunk, except for those few filler cards we were talking about. But the strategy is sound, the fixing was solid, and it was a pretty great deck today. Just some somewhat loose plays still gets a 7-2 run for maximum prize out. A beautiful return to the Final Fantasy Premier Drafts. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.